Hey there, Abdel Misa here, and thank you for watching. So most people think that we have $27 trillion in federal debt and that the government has at some point to pay the $27 trillion. People think about it just like a mortgage. And in fact, that is absolutely not true. That is not how it works. So I wanted to cover the exact details about this. And so let's get to it. So you're going to be like, Abdel, what are you talking about? Okay, the US debt is $27 trillion. You can actually see it in usdebtclock.org that gives you the real-time debt. And so when you have a debt, you owe a debt. That means you owe the money back. That means you have to repay it. And so what are you talking about? Okay, so yes, there is debt. But in reality, that debt, you don't have to pay the debt. Like, okay, so you have like $27 trillion, that means I have to go back and pay the 20. So it doesn't work like a mortgage, okay? So in reality, so let's say for example, the government owes $500 billion. Okay, so when you owe $500 billion, the only thing that the government does is you borrow again, and then that money that you borrow helps you pay the $500 billion. So we call this rolling the debt. Okay, so the government can continue rolling the debt, and then so when there is a debt payment that's due, guess what? They borrow more to pay the debt. By the way, it's not just the federal government that does this. Corporates do it the same. So if you look at telecom companies like AT&T, or you look at utilities, people that have a lot of debt, same thing. It's not like they have to pay down the debt entirely. You know, they have a specific target of debt, let's say, to assets, or they have a specific leverage that they target, and then they borrow accordingly, okay? And then they pay down the debt by borrowing more. That's exactly how it works. So then you're going to be asking, Abdel, well, since the federal debt or corporate debts, they don't act like a mortgage, then okay, they should never have an issue. No, that's not what I'm saying. All what I'm saying is that it's not like the federal government has to go back and pay down this $27 trillion. The most important is the confidence in investor that it's sustainable. And that's why when you look at the federal debt, for example, we look at the federal debt compared to GDP. Okay, GDP, it's the amount what the economy produces. Okay, so you compare the two, and you want, of course, the economy to grow, and therefore if the economy grows, debt can grow as well. You see, so even though you increase the debt, if the GDP and the economy is growing at the same time, then you really don't have a problem. Now, in the case of the US, due to the coronavirus crisis, the debt to GDP has grown a lot. Now, it's above 100%. Okay, so it's not sustainable. You cannot just keep increasing the debt like this. But that does not mean we have to go and pay the $27 trillion in one shot. And so most people use debt to GDP. I could make the argument that it's not just debt to GDP that matters, but also the interest rates on the debt compared to GDP. So in our case, I mean, interest rates have gone so low that you are able to increase the debt. And so the question then, okay, the Democrats and the Republicans are talking about a new stimulus. Obviously, they were close at $1.9 trillion before the election, and now they're far apart again, with McConnell at $500 billion and Pelosi at $2.4 trillion. And the question is, can we afford this? And my own opinion is absolutely. The US government has a lot of assets. The interest rates are so low, and we are dealing with an economic crisis due to this COVID that's unprecedented, where you have to take actions. I mean, there are a lot of industries where they need help, and if we don't do anything, then we're gonna stay in a recession more, and then it's going to cost us even more. And so what's the number? Is it 1 trillion? Is it 2 trillion? Could we afford 2? Yes. Could we afford 1? Yes. It's about political negotiation. I will argue that it doesn't really matter. Get it done, Congress. Okay, people need it. Who cares about like what's the exact number? what's more important is to help the people that we need it, so that we can get the economy back on track before vaccines and health solutions take over. The economy need some type of insurance in the meantime, especially that COVID cases have started to go up exponentially, and so we need some further stimulus to help the economy. So I hope today's session was helpful. Okay, I don't want you to think that, okay, because the federal government has 27 trillion, that there is no way we're paying back 27 trillion. That's what you hear everywhere. That is absolutely not true. We can afford it. The US government is still in a strong shape. Now, this is not sustainable, but we do need a further stimulus to help the economy get back on track. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope it was helpful. Please make sure you like and subscribe. And notice today my cat wanted to join, and you gotta give him credit, huh? He has done a tremendous job. I'm proud of him. Anyway, please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you next time.